Yes, people, welcome back to the channel because today we are talking about Arsenal Football Club. But we're not talking about Gyökeres, we're not talking about Eze, we're not talking about Odegaard, we're not talking about Saka, we're not talking about Medweke. Who are we talking about? Cristhian Mosquera, the central defender, 21 years of age, who is coming from Valencia. And let me tell you now, bargain of the summer, £13 million. £13 million, and no disrespect to William Saliba, you wouldn't even know he was injured. That is how good Cristhian Mosquera has been since signing for Arsenal Football Club. I'm not gonna lie, I've been so impressed. I've been so impressed that I've been actually pretty excited to make this video on Mosquera, if I'm totally honest with you, because I think for him to not only join from Valencia for obviously such a little fee, but there was no pressure on him. He was coming in knowing that, he's behind, Saliba, behind Gabriel. But it's not about that for me. It's about when I get my opportunities, can I make it count? Can I show the Arsenal fans out there that I am ready to play for this football club? And he got thrown in the deep end, away at Anfield, and he came in and had a magnificent performance. He was good against Villarreal also in pre-season. And you're looking at this player thinking, do you know what? When they signed him, I was kind of like, I've not watched a lot of Mosquera at Valencia, to be honest, but he has come in, and I think this recruitment here is top tier. It's top tier to sign someone of his age at 21 with the abilities he has and the way he's acclimatized to the Premier League for 30 million is bargain of the summer. I'm just calling it now. I'm calling it now. You've got Hincampe, you've got Calafiori that can play centre back. You've got Timber that can play centre back. But no, Arteta said, right, they're going to play at fullback, and I want Mosquera to come in and be the deputy to Gabriel and Saliba. If one of them get injured, throw him in. And boy, did he get thrown in. And what he done at Anfield was composed, calmness, no mistakes. And yeah, they lost 1-0, but individually he stood out. And then the injury happened, of course, which continued into the international break. And we saw Mosquera start against Nottingham Forest. And in the 3-0 win, he didn't put a foot wrong. It was a masterclass alongside Gabriel. It was a performance that gave Arsenal fans so much confidence that they're not even worried if Saliba's out for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or 5 weeks. And now, look, I'm not gunning Saliba. I'm not saying that Mosquera is better than Saliba. But what I'm saying is when you have the squad depth that Arsenal do and the quality that Arsenal do in terms of that squad depth, you're thinking, do you know what? We have got a real squad. I can get behind near enough every player in near enough every position. Their defense is the meanest and the leanest in the league. We know it. Timber White, Gabriel Saliba, Mosquera now. Calafiori can play there. Hincampi can play there. You've got now Calafiori, Miles Lewis Skelly, and Hincampi that can play left back. That defense, like, break me down. Come and score. Come and try and score. Because Arsenal, for me, and I'm going to say it on this video, they are favourites for me to win the league. I know Isak joined. I know Kirkes Frimpong. I know Florian Wirtz went to Liverpool. But I'm telling you now, this squad, and when it gets to nitty gritty, Arsenal and Liverpool are deeper in competitions. It gets to February, March, April. I think Arsenal are going to be able to navigate their way to more points than Liverpool. And this squad is one of the best squads that I've seen Arsenal have. But Mosquera, what a signing. These are his stats, by the way, from his game against Nottingham Forest. 4 clearances, 2 interceptions, 2 tackles, 93 touches, 76 passes, 100% ground duels won. What a performance. And you know what? There wasn't even a lot to do for Arsenal in terms of the defensive side of the game. They had a lot of the possession. They dominated Nottingham Forest, which we expect. But what makes me like central defenders and even fullbacks the most is that when they're in a dominant team, you have to be prepared. You have to be ready for moments, because when you are called up on, you need to be there and delivering. Mosquera could have had nothing to do with the game, but the moment he had maybe a clearance to make or a 1v1 duel or a tackle to make, that could lead to a goal. And let me throw this out there as an example. If anyone saw there was a moment where the keeper and the defenders kind of got confused, and then Chris would, I think, hit the crossbar, come off his shoulder, and then it bounced out, and then it fell to a player, I think maybe Hudson-Odoi, and it was basically put it on target and it's a goal. Mosquera, his recovery tackle, A1. And that is the moments I mean when you're talking about proper defenders and defenders maybe a mid-table club who might not be able to react like that. Mosquera was on point. His reaction speed, the timing of the tackle, the anticipation. They are the moments that can help teams win games. They are the moments that enable a 2-0 lead to remain 2-0 and potentially turn into 3-0 like it did. If Forest score in that moment, all of a sudden the game changes on its head a little bit. And you're thinking, okay, are they going to pick up some momentum or are Arsenal going to feel a bit of the pressure? But no, Cristhian Mosquera was there to be counted for. And they are the type of tackles that get the crowd behind you, get the manager believing you even more. And I have to say, like, I think he has got a brilliant future ahead in the Premier League because even his profile, what I really like about Mosquera is that, you know, he's quick, he's comfortable on the ball, he's good in the air. And I feel like if you're a modern day centre back and you're playing in a team like Arsenal where you're expected to dominate more of the ball, maybe play with a bit of a higher line, you need to be athletic, you need to be mobile. And Mosquera is that. I feel like, you know, certain clubs go out and buy players and you think, okay, is it going to work? Is it a club signing? Is it a manager signing? I look at this one and Berta coming in and maybe speaking with Arteta. I feel like this is a signing that is perfect for Arteta, but a signing that is also perfect for Arsenal long term. 13 million. I can't believe I'm even saying that in today's market. 13 million for a 21-year-old that's trajectory is only going to go that way. And look, I know that one of Gabriel Saliba might leave in the future. Hopefully for Arsenal and their sake, they don't. They carry on progressing. They win a league. They get close in the Champions League. And then their players are looking at it as like, why do I need to go anywhere? But let's hypothetically say Saliba's the one that's most likely to leave over Gabriel. I think Gabriel's captain material, by the way. But however, if Saliba did leave in the next 2 or 3 years and Mosquera continues to play the way he is, but on an upward curve, and then he becomes 23, 24, you're thinking it's fine. Like, okay, Saliba, you can go. We get big money for him. But then Mosquera's already there. He's already made. He's already been playing big games, putting in big performances. And look, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself here in terms of Mosquera. And like I said, I don't want people think I'm comparing him to Saliba. But what I'm saying about the Arsenal squad depth is that he's out and Mosquera is fitted in like a glove. No mistakes, no errors, composed. And now you've got someone with the depth you can rotate in the FA Cup, play in the league and whatnot. And he's only going to get better at 21. What a signing this is for 13 million. And like, I'm trying to think of weaknesses in his game. And right now, because he hasn't been exposed, I can't think of weaknesses in his game as such. Look, I'll make videos throughout the season. You know me, guys. I'll always be honest. You know, I'll always be constructive. If he makes a mistake or, you know, he has a poor game or he's a bit off form, yeah, I'll talk about it. But I don't think it means that he's a bad player. At the end of the day, footballers are humans. They will go through dips and stuff. But for him to come in and make the impact he has to a league he doesn't know, and at 21 years of age, I think it's remarkable because we've seen bigger players move to bigger teams and even including Arsenal and take time to adjust. Players that we've seen cut it in the Champions League, players that we've seen win leagues overseas. Mosquera hasn't come from Barcelona or Real Madrid. He's come from Valencia, a very good club and a big club, especially when I was growing up. But, you know, no one really knew how good he could be. No one really knew the talents of Mosquera. But I'm telling you now, if they did, I'm not sure that he'd be going for 13 million. And I'm not sure that he would be, you know, only wanted by Arsenal. So what obviously he's shown the Arsenal board or shown, you know, La Liga, he's obviously come to fruition because right now we can see what he's doing in the league. And I just think it's a very clever signing. I think it's very shrewd. And he's not going to unsettle the team either. I feel like, you know, Arsenal are not going out and signing big stars. They're signing players that can improve the starting 11 with Zubimendi, Gyökeres, Eze and stuff like that. They're going to want to start. Players like Mosquera at 21, they want to be around a winning atmosphere. They want to be around a team that are striving to win trophies. You know, he understands his role. He's not signing for Arsenal clueless that, okay, they've got Gabriel and Saliba. They're the number ones, they know. But all it takes is one injury, as we've seen. They've got 4 competitions, the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League. He's going to get to game time. He's going to get minutes. And I think what Arsenal have got in this player is a top talent. And I think it is going to be the bargain of the summer. And look, Arsenal are very strong in terms of their position to win the league. And Mosquera so far, while Saliba out, is going to play a big part in that. So fair play to him. And I just think he deserves this video, deserves this shout out because it has really gone under the radar, the impact that Mosquera is having at Arsenal Football Club. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I wanted to make something different because I think players that go under the radar, players that are up and coming, I like to make content on them and understand what they can do and how crucial and valuable they can be to the club. And Mosquera has already proved that. And Arsenal are looking rock solid at the back. Break them down if you can. Guys, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. And Arsenal fans, let me know in the comments your thoughts on Mosquera because I have been very, very impressed.